Amigos, welcome back to our channel Atrocities Upon Cities, where today you will see me rebuild the manifold and go ahead and start a remodel for the front yard, a renovation. We are already going to start doing the valves, brand new valves. We went from 7 to 6 and we're going to do the remodel too, so you can get ready for a great video. Thanks, AUC, amigos. Alright fellas, so you can tell this is a manifold and irrigation. It used to take care of 7 stations. Now we're going to make sure it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 underneath. So there's 7 valves there, and we're just going to go ahead and trade them. But first we had to make sure that we can go through all the bushes. So we're out here, we're going to start getting ready to get some sod, some seed. But eventually we're going to see what that turns into. But for now, you see how everything turns out to. We have to be able to walk through the back. Usually I sit in the front where the sidewalk is, and Paola helps me either taking video or bringing all the important stuff that I need. Without her, I wouldn't even finish as fast or even find the parts. She's learning quick how to get the irrigation done. So this is what makes sure that we get things done fast. This is how she goes ahead and starts shoveling all the areas. This irrigation area we had already taken care of before. We made a video of it, probably put a card there, but we'll go from there. You can see how the dryness out here, the crabgrass just takes over once everything was puddled in water here, and we left it. You know, we don't come back here. We usually take care of the front. The front is looking great, but you can tell how tall these things are. They're almost tall as me. I don't know what type of weed they are, but they're sure kind of crazy out here. So you can tell all the sinking that happened out here. We're gonna go ahead and just continue to the cleanup and show you how I hedge. So we'll go from there, amigos. Thanks for watching. Amigos, welcome back. You can see all the dryness. You can see all the weeds that we have out here. We've been at this house for our 3rd season now. We're entering back here. We don't come back here as often, but it looks 10 times better than what it used to look like before. You can see the crabgrass here. Nothing water but the settlement of water out here. And it still grows, you know. Things keep happening. We weed spray it. You can tell areas, but we'll go back to the manifold. You know, we'll see how it goes. You guys have seen me taking out this before. And different things that we have done out here. We're going to continue the progression of what this manifold turns into. And it was a very hard manifold. You can see the shutoff valve right there. You can see the areas that we have to work into so we can keep the water going towards the back. And we turned 7 valves into 3, you know. So different things that we do out here. You can tell the valves just kept popping out of here by themselves. So we keep working on it. We watered the night before so the water could settle down and clean all the areas, so we can know what type of PVC we're dealing with. They were all different, you know, and we had to find out that that's probably like some kind of drainage pipe and just different things. We go ahead and do a movement where we can start changing everything. We start attacking all the leaks. changing everything that we have to, separating the wires so we can eventually wire everything back to normal. But it's a pretty extensive job, you know. It took us about a whole week. We were just gluing things back and forth, making sure that all the lines were the correct ones. This is how we test everything. We just connect it to the regular water hose, and we start making sure that we start adding or subtracting, or just making sure that these lines disappear, you know, turning 2, 3 into 1, just depending. Some of these were only watering 2 areas, 1 or 2 sprinklers, so now they're going to be watering 10. You know, you guys, most of you guys that follow me know that I always tend to build my manifold the night before. Usually it works out. This time I was about an inch off on most things, but no matter what I have done, I was going to be an inch off in the front, an inch off in the back. It didn't matter what I did, so I just went ahead and pre-built it, and then had to just work backwards and make my additions to make sure everything works. You know, in this area it was pretty difficult to work with it because there's teeth going both ways, so I just made sure that I did a 75% insert of the PVC into both sides. You can tell I put glue on both sides to make sure that everything starts turning well, and then I use the pliers to pull it back so I can make sure that they get sufficient PVC and it doesn't spill out. You know, this area here doesn't carry live water the whole time. It only carries water when it turns on, so it has a less probability of leaking. And like that, I wouldn't recommend you guys doing this on live water, as it carries water the whole time and it might leak over time, you know, so you don't want to do that to yourself. And different things that we keep doing out here, fellas. Thanks for watching all these great videos on irrigation. I'm going to keep showing you what we do. Sometimes the lawns get super dry. You can see we've run out of jobs to do, so we have to find different things. Most things out here, since they stop watering for so many years, then everything dries out, and we're going to keep putting glue on this area to make sure that we turn the 2 into 1. And sometimes it's very hard to go into it because it's such a hard position, you know, so sometimes you're able to go ahead and just hit it with the hammer. I put a spacer in the back so I don't have to hold them together, and then like that you're able to make sure that both areas go there. I got a couple seconds before everything dries. It's hot PVC cement glue, so you have to make sure that you're quick, and if you're too quick and you glue the wrong parts, it's just gonna stick and you would have to start over. And in an area like this, you definitely don't want to start over, fellas. So this is where I glue the main PVC. I tell everybody I use a 1-inch pipe now, and I just reduce it with some couplings and I turn it in. You can tell it was an alright area to work with. We just took out the riser that it had and we put a new adapter into it, turned it into a 1-inch black PVC, and then we're hoping that it turns out better than the last one and it doesn't rust out like the ones that I've been doing. And if not, we have a good position. You guys all tell in the video that I cut everything, I pre-cut everything, so I don't necessarily measure, but if I cut one thing, I cut everything that same size, knowing that like that I don't have to measure, you know. I just make sure that I cut one size and then make sure the other ones are all the same size. So that's how we work it, fellas. You're gonna see me work into the valves out here. This is just the manifold area, the irrigation shutoff valve, and all the new lines that were going out. Like I tell you guys, it was 7 lines before. I turned them into 3. One of them carries 9 sprinklers now. The other 2 are gonna carry about 6 and 6, and we're just gonna keep progressing until you guys seeing how we change into brand new valves. And it's the same new valves, you know. It's just updated from probably the 90s until 2020s now, and that's how we work, fellas. We put Teflon on both sides of the adapter. I already started the 2 valves for you guys, and I'll show you how we do it. You put adapters. All this area right here was reduced to 3/4. 3/4 is what it was at before, but we go ahead and change. You guys can see that I go ahead and insert it with my hand. I give it a good push, and then I still use the pliers. I present the second one. Usually I forget, but it's easier to just go ahead and tighten it with one, and you have more pressure pushing it with one hand and using the pliers. Then you put the second one on and it's easier, you know. So I don't know, people, it just depends, you know. Everybody works different. You don't have to necessarily do it this way, but for sure use pliers. Everybody tells me that a quarter turn with your hand after you do the pliers, or do the pliers a quarter turn. It all, you know, I just make sure I do it. Just don't do it too much because you'll crack it, and once everything's set, you'll turn on the water and guess what, it'll start leaking. You don't want to do that either. You can see how I do it. Now make sure you do about 2.5 turns of Teflon, and then you just keep, you know, using the pliers to tighten it up pretty good, and we'll keep progressing, fellas. Thanks for everybody that continues to watch. You guys all see that we do a bunch of cleanups out here. We actually went down to 12, 13 houses right now. We used to have 20, and before that we used to have 80. So we were the busiest gardeners and didn't have time to fix these areas here. And now we understand that they pay you maybe 3-4 times the amount that they would pay you to go ahead and mow the lawn, you know. And then like that, you can still mow the lawn if you have time, but we usually don't try to mow the lawns out here unless they're a good paying customer or it's a customer for a long time. You can see I percent glue on both sides for this valve, and I go ahead and go around once and come ahead and go around twice, and that's what we do, fellas, you know. So this is a great customer. We do different things out here. We'll keep progressing on what we do, changing all these valves. You'll see how everything works, and at the end I'll turn everything on for you guys. At least, well, the main's already on, you know. Water will be flowing through. All these valves can just be stayed there because they don't turn on without being pre-wired. So we'll make sure that we add a 90s here. It's a simultaneous 90s that we have to add to make sure that they work correctly, and we'll keep running out into it, you know. We just keep making additions. You can see how people run the pipes underneath the PVC. Those are all wires to reconnect them. That's going to be a fun part 2. I'll save it for another video. You guys please keep watching. This is going to be a part 1 of a great progression of this video. I have many videos. You can see the box there. I have many videos of this house. I started my YouTube progression, maybe the 4th, 5th video. It has 0 comments on that video and a good music before I even did my own music. Everybody doesn't know, but I make my own beats, and like that I don't get copyrighted for much because everything I do with the DPM, and then I do my voiceovering, so we hardly get copyrighted for things. This is the old manifold that we used. You could tell how extensive it was. It was pretty hard. It looks like they did the original one and then they added for a new edition of the house, and they added a couple valves for the back, a couple valves for the right. So it was very, very hard to change different things, fellas. But thanks for everybody that watches. We're going to go into another quick hyperlapse of what we do and different things that we do out here. Thanks to everybody. See you soon. Amigos, welcome back. Everything was a success. Everything turned on. You could tell right away the sprinklers are going to turn on. So we're going to move into step 2. And step 2 is making sure that we start taking care of where the new lawn is going to go and continuing to hedge on these overgrown bushes that you guys all saw. You can tell we opened up right here. Nothing in the manifold was leaking. Nothing that I had put extra glue right there for Rootster 760. You guys all know that. And we took our time on this special video. We've been working on extra irrigation like that special leak. We're going to show a TLT lawn care how to fix it. So that's our old amigo that used to work for us, fellas. He died out here working so long, so that's how it progresses out here, fellas. We get to keep progressing on what we do out here in California. You can tell it only rains a couple times a year, so things don't really grow. You know, a couple things happen in this job, but we'll wait for the second video. Here it goes. Just to see the finale. You can tell we already have the backside open where you guys saw the water coming out. We're going to show you how to fix that simple irrigation leak, and it's due to the the roots coming up, so we weren't able to show you the inside yet. We'll go ahead and show you on the next time. We're going to show you how we wash everything off, how we work the old manifold, how we're going to continue to work on these bushes right here, and different things that we do out here, fellas. Like always, thanks for everybody that watches. You can tell everything looks nice and clean, and you'll see what it looks like later, when we start rewiring everything and making sure that it all goes back to normal. So this is the area that we fixed on the right side where the weeds were as tall as me. We shoveled them all out. No weed whacking out here. If not, it just comes back. So thanks to everyone. AUC, amigos.